Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back again today with another 2 trades. Today I was trading the news just prior to the news. Today's date is August the 14th. Let's take a quick look at the news so you know what I'm talking about. Right here at the Forex factory, Friday, August the 14th at 8:30 a.m. We've got core retail sales and retail sales. Now, like I said, I took the trade before the news came out, so I didn't know if it was going to go up or down. But as you can see on the retail sales here, it's red. That means we should be selling the dollar. And on this, the core retail sales on the USD, it's green, positive, means we're buying. So this is telling me it's mixed. So it can go up, it can go down. So these, what it turns out to be actual, the market can go up or down. Nobody knows for sure, except my master trigger knows. So let's go and take a look at it. Here's the master trigger I used, the euro dollar and the pound dollar. Now you ask, how does the master trigger know? Well, I can show you at exactly 17 minutes after 8, like 13 minutes or so before the news. This is before the 8:30 news, New York time. It was telling me this one on the right is a really good example of a great way to trade. Remember, I told you 90% of the time it will keep producing winning trades, and of course you have to follow the rules within the training videos. Now this one here is not quite set up, but it's pretty close. So when I took a look at both of these side by side, I knew I didn't want to sell. There's nothing here really telling me to sell. So here we go. On the euro dollar, let's just drag and drop this up and see where I got in at. So right here on this cursor, if you go straight, like, just look at everything here. There's no red anywhere. Like I said, it's not quite the perfect setup for a great way to trade, but it's pretty close. So let's see where I got in at. Now it did do a pullback, but I couldn't wait for the pullback because the news came out on this candle. So this was the pullback. But anyhow, I knew the most it would go was to the goal line. And look at how close that is. That's like only 1 pip. Love trading the master trigger. Works fantastic. So I got in at this cursor, as I said. Now it did pull against me about 5 pips. Even if I wanted to put in a stop below the gold or this first swing pivot low, it was only 10 pips. Now it did go up. I was looking at something else. I should have got out up here, close the trade, and then it did a pullback again, and I knew it was going to give another push. And then all I was doing was keeping an eye on the totals down here. And when I got around 50 pips, I knew I would be very happy with that. So, got in at the cursor, closed it out here. No particular reason other than I was happy with the totals. Now this is only 8 pips. So that I would label that as just for scalping. Anything between 2 and 10 pips is scalping. But this was the bigger mover, as my meter was telling me. As you can still see, this one is still stronger than the euro dollar over here. So not a big deal. I always do at least 2 or more trades because I never know which ones are going to be moving more than the other ones. Now that is a very good tip. It took me many years to figure that one out. I used to do just one trade and sit around for hours hoping and praying that it was gonna, go 30. It went 30, 40, 50 pips against me, and when it came back and was 2 or 3 pips to the good, I was just so happy to get out of the trade. But those days are gone. I do 2 or more trades. As I said, I don't know which one will go, but it's usually the pound pairs as opposed to the euro pairs. It's another good tip to let you know that. Let's take a look at this pound dollar. Here it is right here. This is a perfect example of a great way to trade. Now the triggers were prior to that. I teach exactly when you get the triggers, what to be looking for, and how to get in the trade. I would have been, obviously the most perfect entry would have been right here. So to tell you the truth, I missed it by about 7 pips. So stop is either on the other side of the gold. You'll notice that I don't bother with stops. I'm in and out of the trade, and I never have a problem with a computer. I never have a problem with the internet, and if I do, not a big deal. I just take my laptop, and 3 minutes down the road, I can tap into internet. And believe me, the market's not going to move 100 pips in 3 minutes. So as you can see, if I had a problem here, let's see, 5-minute candles, this only went 6 pips. So, so I don't worry about internet. I don't worry about computers because I do have 3 computers. Another tip to let you know, if you're going to be trading many hours a day, you should have a desktop. I have 2 desktops, and I have 3 monitors, and I also have my laptop. I rarely turn the laptop on. It's just whenever I leave the house. I do not trade with a laptop. Makes no sense to use a laptop for trading. As I said, I only trade when I go on vacation or I'm out of the house. And just to let you know, at the end of the month, I'm going for, a weekend, like to a cottage. And that'll be right here in Ontario. It's about 3 hours drive approximately. So want to get away just for the weekend. Our complete family, 6 of us are going. Going to be really close to the Detroit River, just south of Windsor, south of Detroit, obviously. If you know where the Detroit River, where it flows directly into, and just to show you on a map, here's Detroit, here's Windsor, the Windsor International Airport, and we're going to be in this small town Amherstburg, and here's the Detroit River right here. I'll be able to walk on the Canadian side to the Detroit River, which, in case you didn't know, flows into Lake Erie. So it's going to be a nice weekend getaway at they call it a cottage, but it's not a true cottage. It's a home, Airbnb. So all the comforts of home, including swimming pool and everything. So it's going to be a wonderful 3 days getaway at the end of August. So getting back to the charts. Let's see on this pound dollar. Got in at this cursor. This is getting in right here would have been perfect timing. Obviously here and here. And I do teach in videos. That's what makes this master trigger so fantastic, is I teach how to get in near perfect timing entries. So this was pretty close to it, to be honest with you. It was only off by 2 pips, not a big deal. I got in here. It only went against me, not even a half a pip. And it just went as I was calculating. And right to here, I got 30 pips. That's where I closed it out. As I know it went a little bit further. I figured it was going to go up at least to the ADR, this red line right here, ADR. And the way I look at it is was looking down at the bottom here and I saw the totals. Once I see 50 there, that 50, I knew it was going to be 50 pips. So what did I say this was? 30. So 30 pips on the pound dollar, paid 4,025, and of course 8 pips on the euro dollar, paid 1,059. So I thought it would be around 50 pips, but it turned out to be 38 pips, and the 38 pips paid 5,084. So if I would have been doing, these are major pairs. Anything that has a US dollar, just in case you didn't know that. I know there's a lot of new traders, but if it has a US dollar in it, that's a major pair. And if it's like the pound New Zealand, if it does not have the US dollar in it, these are exotic pairs. And on the majors, you'll get $10 per pip on one standard lot. And in this situation, I can see that at 38 pips was paying actually more than $10. And whereas like on the pound New Zealand, it's paying like $7 on a standard lot. You got to know all these things before you trade live. It amazes me how traders are trading with real money and they don't know all of these different things. And then they wonder, why am I losing a lot of money to the brokers? It's because they don't know how to trade. You demo trade until you're good, and as you're learning all of these different things that you have to learn, because if the more you know, the better you'll become as a trader. The less you know, guess what's going to happen? The brokers are going to take your money away from you. The market does the same thing every day, and once I see the setup, this is a perfect setup, and this one is pretty close. Actually, by the time it did this pullback right here and here, that would have been a great way to trade. Right there for 20 pips. And this one already kicked in as a great way to trade. So, if your trading is not producing like my Master Trigger system, I suggest you get your hands on it. Very easy to do so. All you got to do is look right below this video and you will see this right up. It's the Master Trigger system. I do charge $250. Has well over 3.5 gigabytes of training, and you'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 platform. Now it comes with 4 MT4 templates, 8 custom indicators, and of course my favorite meter, this one right here. Do not ever even think about trading without a meter, because you will lose. But you got to have a good meter. I went through at least a dozen meters before I found this one, and the other ones were not reading properly. I was having issues and problems, and of course when that happens, guess what? You're going to lose money. So now there's also a lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents. This is to continue your education, which is what you need to succeed at trading the markets. So moving right along here, there's a lot of ways to trade. I teach a lot of ways to trade. That's why there's 42 training videos along with 9 bonus videos. My number one and best way to trade, the way I love trading, I do it every day with success. It's called A Great Way to Trade. I recommend starting and mastering that first before you try to do some more difficult things. Now I'm going to show you what makes the Master Trigger out of all my trigger systems, and I do have 27 of them. This is why these 5 things makes it that much better than the other ones, because I actually teach. Each and every video I give a lot of advanced trading tips. Now this is the newest thing, I've never done it before, how to get near perfect timing entries. Every trader has that problem. See, if you're buying here, you can rest assured before you know you're down 20 or more pips. Like, don't buy up here. That's the wrong place. I teach where to pull the trigger. I also teach how to stay in the trade for more pips. I certainly could have stayed in for a few more. I teach how to do that. I teach how to trade at the right hand edge, right at the edge here. Traders are always saying, should I be buying? Should I be selling? So each one of these has at least 2 videos, 20 minutes or longer. And also teach how to trade higher time frames. Now, I also have 2 videos that I'll show you some great trade setups, what it should look like just prior to pulling the trigger. Also teach how to backtest the master trigger, how to scalp the market, how to scan the market. Now I teach how to trade all 3 sessions, including this London close. Now I teach how to trade pullbacks anytime it comes back to the moving averages. I do prefer the goal line here, and if it bounces and continues with the trend, that's just a pullback. Now if it breaks the goal line and keeps going down, that is a reversal, which I teach how to trade reversals. Also teach how to trade the goal line. There's always a lot of action. Have to back it up a little bit to show you where price action is around the goal line. And then of course I teach how to trade the news. The most difficult thing to do. Recommend mastering a great way to trade first, unless you're in no hurry to make real money. And then of course I teach how to trade with a day job. In other words, either a few hours before you go to work or a few hours like when you come back home. And that applies to people in North America. So that just about wraps up this video, and this trading the New York session and the news. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trade, happy trading, and remember, keep yourself and your family safe. Okay, bye for now.